Alex, I spent 20 years believing that if a project didn't involve a sharp blade or a heavy hammer, it wasn't real shop work. But here I am, trying to persuade this microcontroller that it actually wants to talk to my porch lights, and I feel like I'm negotiating with a stubborn mule that speaks in binary.
Watching you trade a chisel for a soldering iron is the highlight of my week. It's like watching a grizzly bear try to knit a lace doily. But honestly, why are we doing this? You usually say smart home and planned obsolescence in the same breath.
Well, the bug bit me when I realized I could stop walking across a cold woodshop in my socks just to see if I left the dust collector running. The magic isn't in the gadgets themselves, it's in the tinkering. It's the same satisfaction as tuning a hand plane. When you finally get those lines of code right and a physical relay clicks into place, man, it feels like catching the perfect grain direction on a piece of white oak.
Okay, I'll give you the satisfaction of the click. But for the rest of us who don't want to accidentally wire our toaster to the garage door, where do we actually start? The internet makes it sound like I need a PhD in electrical engineering just to dim a light bulb.
That's the big hurdle, isn't it? The jargon is a thicket. You've got people shouting about Arduinos over here and Raspberry Pis over there. To keep it simple, think of the Arduino as the reliable old shop foreman. It does one job, it does it right away, and it never gets distracted. It's perfect for real-time stuff, like a sensor that detects when your cat is at the door.
And the Raspberry Pi?
That's the overeducated apprentice. It's a full-blown computer. It can handle the logic, the web interfaces, the brains of the whole house. If you want a dashboard that shows your energy usage while playing 80s synthwave, that's your beast. But for a beginner, I'd say grab an ESP8266 or an ESP32. They're like the Swiss Army knives of the hobby, cheap, tiny, and they've got Wi-Fi built right into the marrow.
Don't tell the tech purists, but I actually just bought a pre-made hub. Am I a traitor to the maker cause?
Not at all. Even a seasoned woodworker buys pre-made hinges. Using something like Samsung SmartThings or a Vivint ecosystem is just choosing a sturdy foundation. It gives you a sandbox to play in without having to invent the sand first. The real DIY comes in how you bridge the gaps.
Speaking of gaps, let's talk about the instruction manual versus reality. You've had some, let's call them learning opportunities lately.
Oh, you mean the great smart lock incident of last Tuesday? I decided to optimize the door sensor. I thought I'd be clever and use a high voltage relay where a low voltage one belonged. Long story short, I didn't just automate the lock. I nearly welded the deadbolt to the frame. My wife had to climb through the kitchen window because I'd basically turned our front door into a bank vault with an attitude problem.
See, that's what scares people. One wrong wire and you're locked out of your own life.
The trick is to treat it like a glue up. You don't put glue on all 50 dowels at once. You do a dry fit. Test your sensors on the workbench, what we call a breadboard, before you ever go near the house's actual wiring. And for heaven's sake, keep your smart stuff and your manual stuff in a happy marriage. If the internet goes down and you can't turn on the bathroom light because you replaced the physical switch with a touchscreen, well, that's a special kind of dark you don't want to be in.
That's a huge point. Reliability. I see all these Zigbee and Z-Wave terms floating around. Why not just put everything on the Wi-Fi? I've already got a router.
Because your router is already gasping for air trying to stream your 4K shows. If you add 20 smart bulbs, a smart toaster, and a Wi-Fi connected sock sorter, your network will crumble like a dry biscuit. Zigbee and Z-Wave are like a bucket brigade. Each device passes the message to the next one. It's low power, it stays off your main internet highway, and it's much more set it and forget it.
Okay, that's actually adorable. Is that the automated pet feeder with timers project from the guide?
It is. And it's the perfect level 1 project. You've got a motor, a servo that needs to turn a specific amount. You've got a timer. It's simple, but it teaches you the most important lesson in home automation. Mechanical failure is just as likely as a software bug.
How so?
Well, the first version of this, I used a motor with too much torque and a wheel made of soft pine. The motor didn't care that a piece of kibble got jammed. It just kept turning until it turned that pine wheel into a pile of sawdust. My dog just sat there staring at the snow falling into his bowl. You have to build the physical bits to be as robust as the code.
So, for someone listening who's looking at their old-fashioned dumb house and feeling inspired, what's the measure twice, cut once advice for smart homes?
Start with a problem, not a gadget. Don't buy a smart light because it's cool. Buy it because you're tired of stumbling over the laundry basket in the hall. Define that one goal. Then, pick your platform, whether it's the tinkering heavy Arduino or a user-friendly hub. And finally, don't hide your mistakes. The best part of this hobby is when something goes haywire and you have to trace the circuit to find out why.
Nice touch. Did you actually program that sunset mode yourself?
I did. It only took me 3 nights, 4 cups of cold coffee, and 1 minor electrical shock. But look at that glow. Tell me that isn't as beautiful as a fresh coat of linseed oil.
It's pretty close, Tiger. It's pretty close.
That's the thing. Whether it's steel, wood, or silicon, the joy is in making the world bend to your will just a little bit. Build something smart, but don't forget to keep your own hands on the controls.